So the FloNationals are back for the 6th year at the Kovalchik Complex. If you don't know what the FloNationals are, if you haven't seen the FloNationals, what a treat to see them. They're at the Kovalchik Complex, and we're going to learn about the schedule and how much you can see of this wonderful, wonderful tournament. It's high school wrestling at its best, and not even all high school, right, Willie?
Yeah, we also have youth divisions, which are quite popular, and it's a format where the club coaches and the high school coaches can bring their wrestlers for the high school portion and then stay an extra day and have their little guys wrestle on Sunday.
Willie Saylor is with us, FloNationals. Ryan Holmes will be joining us as soon as he gets the car parked, which is Ryan's yearly adventure is finding parking in downtown Indiana. Heather Marcozzi is in the studio with us as well. The FloNationals, Willie, such a big, big event. And I don't know if everybody realizes that this is the cream of the crop from wrestling talent all across the United States. They're all here.
Yeah. If you look, we're kind of very proud that if you look at the NCAA champions this year and the NCAA All-Americans, how many have come through FloNationals, including Kyle Snyder, who's the best wrestler not only in the country and the NCAA level, but also on the world level. He's a pound-for-pound best wrestler in the world. We were fortunate enough to have him wrestle at FloNationals. Zane Rutherford, on and on and on. Jason Nolf, these guys wrestled at FloNationals years before they were national stars at the collegiate level. Yeah,
so give us an idea of the schedule, because the wrestling start, and once it starts, it doesn't start and it doesn't stop until you're on the bus out of town.
Yeah. So weigh-ins are tomorrow. Wrestling starts. Weigh-ins are today at 2. Wrestling starts tomorrow at 10 a.m. Doors open at 8, and then we go through until the quarterfinals are set. And we really wanted to focus on presentation. We all think that the NCAA wrestling tournament is the most well-run tournament on the planet. If you've been to a World Championships or even seen it on television or the Olympics, there's a lot of downtime and there's a lot of scattered, like who's on this mat, who's on that mat. Mm-hmm. And so we wanted to design it after the NCAA tournament, and that's an experience that you don't get in any other high school tournament. You know, a lot of them are ran scattered. And so the second day of FloNationals is really special because you know that all the quarterfinals are here and you can focus on them and really pay attention to all the great talent. And then we go to semis, and there's 2 mats dedicated to semis, front and center, and all eyes are on them. And we take pride in that.
Well, sure. Absolutely should. Ryan Holmes is in the studio. Ryan, congratulations on finding parking.
Yeah, it's been tough out here. There was a bus that drove by. There were like school buses, but finally got a spot.
That's your annual challenge when you come to Indiana, is to find a place to park for the radio interview.
Yeah, it was kind of tough, but we maneuvered.
Hey, FloNationals back here, and I know that you being involved in the program for so long, as well as Willie, you know what a valuable thing this is to these wrestlers who are coming. You know, the number of college scouts who will be here, the number of folks who are coming to cheer them on, and to see them match up against the best wrestlers in the nation is just invaluable to these guys.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, speaking of the college coaches that come, I actually had probably about 5 text messages from more college coaches this morning saying they were coming and asking where, you know, people are staying, just still trying to get in. So, you know, the college coaches, they value this tournament just like they'd value any other, you know, national tournament. But they understand that when the kids come here, they're going to get the matchups that they want to get, and they're going to see these kids against top-level competition. And, you know, from a standpoint of competition with the kids look forward to this too. You know, there's usually a huge push in the last week or so where a lot more kids start registering. You start to see the number 1 and you know, number 10 guy in the country that is starting to register, and you know they're starting to get amped up for, you know, Fargo and some other bigger tournaments. But you know, this is where they know the college coaches are going to be before they get to the international style, and this is where they want to be every year. And you know, you really see that competition come out at this point of the year.
Yeah, and one of the great things about FloNationals, and Willie, you can talk about this too, is these guys are coming off of their wrestling seasons. Mm-hmm. So they're at the top of their game right now.
Yeah,
this is when to see them.
They are, and it's a culmination of the folk style season, because the way the wrestling world is set up is that from September, October through March is folk style, and then it goes into freestyle. So this is the last time that they can gear up for folk style, and that's why the college coaches are here to see them. We have, Ryan was talking about a late push in talent, and we have, I tweeted it last night, I think this is the best heavyweight field that we've ever had. We have the number one kid in the country at 220 has moved up to heavyweight. He is a Michigan commitment, and that's an interesting sidebar too, because the vast majority of these kids are here to make scholarship money, to perform in front of college coaches and get a call or get a letter from them. But there's also guys like Mason Paris and Kendall Coleman out of Illinois who are already committed. Coleman to Purdue and Mason Paris to Michigan, and they're competing just for the prestige of it, right? Just for the challenge. And we have a great heavyweight field. That's typically, if you look at tournaments, all calendar year, it's difficult to get a good bracket at 195, 220 in heavyweight. And I'm just so thrilled with the level of guys we have at heavyweight with Mason Paris, and then we have 2 or 3 state finalists from Pennsylvania. We have 2 state champions from Ohio. One, Tyler Stein, just registered last night. So I'm thrilled with the level of competition at the upper weights this year.
Yeah, I believe there's another kid from California that was 3rd in California this year. There was a finalist last year that's going to be in that heavyweight 195, 220. So the depth that we have at our heavier weights this year is definitely better than what we had in past years, where you wouldn't really see a top level matchup until semis guys are hitting or quarterfinal. But the finals were great last year with Paris getting a fall in the final, so he's coming back to look for another title. But the depth of heavier guys that we have this year is definitely better than we had in the past.
Think back to when you guys were actively wrestling. And was there something like this that is here in Indiana this weekend? Was there something like this for you back when you were wrestling?
Well, there was NHSCAs, but the problem with NHSCAs, and it's a great organization. They're from my hometown. I knew them since I was a pup. But the guy who started it was Bobby Ferrara, who was the head coach of Bucknell at one time. The difference between NHSCAs and FloNationals is that it was broken up by grade. So you would have freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, and you didn't get to, you wanted to see the guy that won juniors hit the guy that won seniors, or you wanted to see a guy that took 3rd in juniors wrestle, the runner-up in seniors, and you never got the premier matchups to hit, and that's why we like the one-class style. Yeah,
what about you, Ryan?
Yeah, when I was in high school, I think the local tournaments that went on to the national level was, I think, Mawas or something like that, where you could kind of hit these guys in the off season that you wouldn't normally hit, and there was really nothing that I can remember ever really circling on my calendar outside of that, where I knew I was going to go and I was going to get top level competition from big school that I didn't get to see. I was in a small school class, so there were definitely guys that I knew were going to be there, and then from there, you head off to the next level of regions where you're in a different part of Pennsylvania and then, maybe even Ohio. So there wasn't much traveling for us to do in high school, at least for me, much traveling to do. And now these kids are traveling all over the country. And, like you said, we've got kids from California and, a good contingent from California coming in this year that, we didn't have in the past. And I never got a chance to see that type of competition when I was in high school.
Yeah, let's swing that microphone over. And just a comment from Heather, because I wanted to ask you, Heather, when this comes here to Indiana, to the Gavalchi Complex, this means a whole lot to this community, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's great for the restaurants. It's great for the businesses. It's a great opportunity for everybody in Pennsylvania to have such a great tournament so close by to participate in. You're going to see a lot of especially the youth that are local, that have dreams of hitting FloNationals in 2 years, 3 years, next year. but they're coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're definitely coming.
Absolutely. Well,
and let me speak on that too. One of the reasons that we're here, and we came here because of Kovalchuk is such a great venue, and we came here because of the location. I always say the Power Belt: Ohio, PA, New Jersey. It's the epicenter of high school wrestling. But one of the reasons, perhaps the biggest reason we stay here in Indiana is because of the local community and Heather and all that they do for FloNationals and for Flo Sports. So, they're invaluable. They make it a success.
yeah, absolutely. Well, it's going to be a wonderful weekend of FloNational Wrestling at the Kovalchuk Complex. Weigh-ins today. Wrestling starts tomorrow, right?
That's right.
And people can turn out and just enjoy a whole day's worth and then come back the next day, too. The schedule real quick.
Wrestling starts at 10 tomorrow. But there's also, I want to mention, a lot of local kids. If you're a wrestling fan, you can come watch some of the kids. Colby Ho, a really good wrestler out of DuBois, state runner-up to Sammy Sasso, going to George Mason, Dylan McNulty, Alex Donahue, Curtis Phipps, another state runner-up from Norwin, and Brock McMillan, another state runner-up from Glendale. So you're going to see, you can come and if you're a local fan, take in some good action.
You're going to see the guys matching up. It's going to be a great weekend. We're glad that FloNationals are back. They mean so much to us, and we're glad that the Kovalchuk Complex is where you want to be. Thanks for coming in this morning.
Thank you.
Ron, you're going to have to tell them where you parked.
Yeah, I will let them know. We'll find it.
It is Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank. It's WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160. FloNationals are back. How about that? Hey, coming up, we're going to talk a little golf, a little baseball with Michael Ryan in our next hour as well.